Hello everybody, I'm glad you're here today. Today is July 21st, 2026. In this video, we're going to talk about the things happening that are setting off my alarm bells. We're going to cover that. We're going to read out of my journal, we're going to read out of the Bible, and we're going to hopefully, at the very end of this, just keep saying to each other, just keep your eyes on Jesus and just keep going forward. Keep walking the walk, y'all. That is the purpose. That is the overall umbrella of what we're supposed to be doing here right now. Even though looking around us, the whole world looks like it's going to hell in a handbasket, and it kind of is, y'all. I'm not going to lie. So, I realize I look like something the cat drug in. I did not necessarily realize this before I made this video, but we have been working hard to get things ready for winter, to put up food storage, to keep my chickens cool because we're about to have a really bad heat wave. So I have been working this morning, but I wanted to get on here to visit with everybody and to see what y'all think too, because I love what you're putting in the comment section. You're feeding the sheep, us. Those of you, you don't need a YouTube video. That's what I'm doing. I'm just yapping on a YouTube video. You've got your gifting, and maybe that's it. So great. Make your own channel. But maybe it's just typing something in the comment section to help somebody else. Please, please, please do that for the sake of others. For the sake of others. I am learning from what you're commenting, and I appreciate it. In fact, what I'm bringing to you today, the Bible verse is based on someone's comment, and also one little thing I actually wrote in my journal this morning based on somebody's comment. So thank you. Keep it up, everybody. Keep it up. All right. Now then, things that are setting off my alarm bells. First of all, the worldwide travel warning. That is setting off my alarm bells. Now, I know it is in relation to the Middle East. It's not limited to the Middle East, though. I don't know exactly. Clearly it says all Americans, worldwide travel warning. If you're planning to go to that area of the world, if you are going to be a tourist over there, if you're going to be doing anything like that overseas, be very cautious. And to some, it's like, just don't do anything except essential travel. Y'all, so I've got a story to go with that. I'll just tell you this story real quick right now. So listen, first of all, the travel warning's legit. In a way, it feels like stay home. Like that to me is saying, just stay home, y'all. They want to take you out, Americans. They want to take us out. They being our enemies. And I don't even know who they are, where they are, what they look like, but apparently they can be anywhere. Granted, the travel warning is not, it is a worldwide travel warning, but it is directly related to the Middle East. So however you go read it for yourself, and then you can interpret it. So that's going on. So what it reminds me of, y'all, is COVID, which was just stay home. All right, stay home. Now, y'all, I've got no problem staying home. I love to stay home. Home is enough for me. The seasons changing is enough change for me. That's good. I'm good with staying home, and I even like it when it's legit from the government. I'm just like, hey, yeah, well, the government says stay home, so I'm not a weirdo. I'm just trying to do what the government says. Right. So, anyway, back in 2020, it was March. It was March. Remember when they announced the worldwide pandemic? The week before that, my daughter, Taylor, had a trip planned to Seattle, Washington. Now, at that time, Seattle was considered what listen, I think in retrospect it is looked at as ground zero. At that time, not so much, but we kept hearing about the cases of COVID, how many cases they had. In fact, we had a friend who is a doctor there, and was then, and she was right smack dab in the middle of that, and she was telling her mom, who lived here in this area, hey, this is weird. This is strange. I don't know what this is. People are dying. Mom, stay home. Promise me you will not leave home. The last thing I need is to worry about you. And her mama, just to relieve her daughter's anxiety, stayed home and sacrificed a lot just so that her daughter, who was a doctor up there knee deep and up to here actually in the chaos, so that she could just rest easy in her mind about her mom. Okay? So that way we knew that was going on. There were little wisps of thought going through, like, what is this? You know, and I've been watching it since January, what was happening overseas in the Asian country and how it was going, like, what is this? This is weird. I think we got to watch this. So when my daughter went to Seattle to see a friend the first week of March, I told her, I said, girl, you might want to not go. You might not want to travel right now. Now, looking back, I would have been much more forceful knowing what we were dealing with. At that time, I didn't. And she did, I mean, honestly, to her, she didn't know either. All right, so I have to remember that. But I kid you not, my child said to me, Mom, I'm a nurse. I know how to wash my hands. And then that little sassy stuff, you know, that little sassy stuff they throw at you sometimes. Y'all know what your kids do. And let me tell you, I have learned to just go, well, you might be right about that, and just walk away. You know, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight. I do have some fights I fight, but I wasn't going to fight that fight. And I thought, well, okay. She said, I'll germ kill my hands. I'll wipe down my seat handles on the plane, and I'll be fine. Okay. So she goes and she comes back, and she goes back to work at the hospital that she worked at, which was in another state. We border New Mexico. So she was in another state working. As you know, New Mexico, well, you may not know, New Mexico is considered a blue state, and they were really hawkish during the pandemic. And this story's going too long, but long story too long. When they announced that it was a worldwide pandemic, and said if you've been to Seattle, was one of those cities, if you've been there in the last 16 days, you need to get tested, which the tests weren't even, I mean, they were brand new. I kid you not. She went to her boss. They told her to get to the ER immediately. When she got to the ER, they came in hazmat suits to test her for this disease. And the test wasn't going to be back for like a week. And then they sent her home. And I can't remember if they paid her or not, but literally isolated. We were quarantined as a family, And when that happened, I thought, holy crap, what is going on? This is not normal. All right, so fast forward to now. We have this travel alert. All right, now, granted, that's not on the scale to me as the pandemic was yet. But clearly, there is a sense of, you know what, gang? If you don't need to travel, just don't. Just don't. Not right now. Not right now. Don't go see that baseball game. You don't need to go see that baseball game. You don't need to go. Just stay home. It probably might be safer. But that's just me, y'all. You got to decide for yourself. So there is that. Also, I know that the military are being, first of all, trained to fight the Red Dragon country. That I have direct friends that are in the military being trained. They used to call the enemy by another name, but now they have shifted to just calling it by the name of the actual country. It starts with a C, ends in an A. So that is going on, which that raised my eyebrows just a little bit. But then I keep hearing stories about people who are out of the military who are being called back in. They've been out for years. Is it y'all got to correct me if I don't know about the correct verbiage. Is it involuntary service? Like you don't have a choice. They're getting letters. I have a friend, like a real friend, like face-to-face friend. Uh, is there any kind of, I don't know if there are any other kind of friends, but anyway, I don't know why I qualified that. But anyway, she has a cousin who was not supposed to go into service until September, but has been called up now, immediate service, and is being stationed in Jordan. I was like, oh girl, it's her cousin. I don't know if I said brother. It's her cousin. I hope I said, I don't know what I said. But I was like, that's, Jordan's getting it nearly every night. Oh my. So alarm bells are going off in my head. What am I doing about it? I'm sitting still and I'm praying and I'm being thankful and I'm being joyful and I'm praying and I'm singing and I'm dancing and I am soberly, heavily in prayer for this where we're at. All right. Now then, I want to, first of all, on a lighter note, and then I'll go and read what my entry was. On a lighter note, someone in the comment section wrote this, and I absolutely loved it. This is a great saying to live by, and it's kind of what I was saying on yesterday's video, that just be Jesus for people. You don't have to necessarily preach it verbally, the gospel, but just be Jesus and love people the way your gifting is, the way God made you. And it's going to be different than everybody else. So don't compare yourself to other people. That's the death of contentment, y'all. But someone wrote this in the comment section, and I just love it. It says, preach the gospel always, and if necessary, use words. Preach the gospel always, and if necessary, use words. Do you get it? If you don't get it, I'm sorry, I can't explain that. But anyway, well said. I love that saying. I'm gonna just remember that from now on for sure. I think whatever, this is just a side note, I think whatever battlefield, spiritual battlefield we're being led to with this war, like whatever, however that's going to shift. And man, it may not, our daily life may not change at all. I don't know. If our young people are being killed, that changes my daily life. I don't know about anybody else. It makes me so sad. So sad. I pray they knew Jesus. But let me finish what I was going to say. Being on the battlefield like that as a believer, where you're praying and singing prayers and protection and serving, it's exhausting, y'all. It's tiring. It's not the mountaintop experience we used to have in youth group, all right, or in college, or whatever, whenever your last mountaintop emotional high was from the Lord. And I'm not against emotional highs, so don't hear that. But you can kind of be a junkie. So, like, I've got to have a mountaintop experience or I'm not doing it right. I know people who are like that. So, like, to me, and I'm jaded in this, y'all, so filter it hard what I'm fixing to say. But I'm like, yeah, no, let's just get to work. And I don't mean works like I have to earn my grace, but I'm talking about you ask the Lord, what would you have me do today? And you do it. And sometimes that's going to be exhausting. And I think that might be what's coming. Now, I want to read to you from September 30th, 2025. This is nearly a year ago, y'all. This is nearly a year ago. Definitely before we went into Iran. Oh, I hope I don't get, before we went into the country we're in now. Of course, we'd gone in June, and then this was September. That was June 2025. So here's what I wrote down while I was in worship. And I wrote down 4:30 a.m. I usually don't write the time, but I did on this one. I wonder why. Hang on just a second. I'm just gonna read this part, okay? I'll go ahead and read the other part too. That's at 8:20 p.m. I wonder, I must have been having a struggle day. I'm sorry, y'all. I did not mean to just meander there and leave you hanging. Okay, here we go. September 30th, 2025, 4:30 a.m. This is what I wrote down, what I believe the Lord said to me. The breezes of alarm sweeping over your nation are now mighty gusts worse than the worst storm in memory. The blowing gales of war push against my plans, but they are but a puff of air to me. You, child, you, on the other hand, feel this stormy gale and know of its strength. You know what it brings. Tunnel in. Quiet down. Wait. Watch, for I have already spoken these days to you. You feel the heavy tension. Will it spill forth into war or lessen with time? You ask. I tell you this, the shock will knock you down, but do not choose to stay in shock. Choose to stand in me, firm foundation, for that is all that will sustain you. I don't think this has anything personal in it. I'll continue. So I wrote this at 8:20 that same night. So something must have happened that day that bothered me. Child, hear me now. The day is finished. Erase it off the board. One swipe and it is gone. Nothing can be undone. Nothing can be unsaid. Tasks have increased, but no task is insurmountable. Happy are my lambs who know I know, for they rest well at night. I'm going to read that again. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? Happy are my lambs who know I know, for they rest well at night. Give it to me, your tasks, your sorrow, your fret. Tomorrow all will be well in me. Sleep now, my lamb. Curl up beside me. No harm will befall you. Look at me. Turn away from the distractions. I guess I didn't look at that when I chose to read that. I thought that was the next day. But y'all, I know what was going on in my life then, and it was when I was moving my mom and dad. And that was, y'all know, that was like a freaking nightmare for me. And so did the Lord. And he did not leave me. So, there is that. Y'all do with that what you need to do with it. Square it with God, the Holy Spirit. This is the supreme word of God, the Bible. Okay? So, once again, a viewer mentioned this to me, and I think it's out of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 1:18. 1:18. Darn fly. I'll try not to cuss at it. I do cuss at flies, so I'm going to try to filter here. Ecclesiastes 1:18. The greater my wisdom, the greater my let me start again. The greater my wisdom, the greater my grief. To increase knowledge only increases sorrow. And I don't mean to be a downer about that, y'all. It's not a downer. Solomon knew what he was talking about when he wrote that. Sometimes when the Lord shows us what's coming and we talk about it and share it, y'all know many of you have had dreams, you've had visions, your family members, your friends have. The Lord has painted us a picture, has he not? That's what I think. And knowing that, that's heavy. and it's sorrowful. And I kind of think the more we understand what a fallen world we live in, and it is sin filled. But Jesus is the answer to all of it. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look to him, y'all. Now is the time. Urgent. Now is the time. Hook onto Jesus. I'm going to leave that with y'all. From the pantry, stay safe, America. This is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.